Hi guys, it's Belle here and I'm coming on with a little cross stitch update. I had said in a couple of videos that whilst being poorly, the one thing I could do was some cross stitch, and that I have finished several unfinished projects, and a couple of you had asked if I would share them, and I do sometimes share my cross stitch on here, so I thought I would. I just want to say that the type of cross stitch I do is what is referred to as counted cross stitch. So it's me with a needle and thread, a blank piece of fabric and a chart. I just refer to it as cross stitch, but just keep in mind that's what I'm talking about. So let's get on. I'm super excited because I've finished so many little projects. So this is just a plain little hobbycraft chart. I don't even know where I got it. I don't normally pick these up. I don't know if I was gifted it or what, but I had started it at Christmas and I'd got as far as like one ear and one arm and part of this, nothing else, all in the yellow. So it's a really, really simple piece. I am wondering about adding a bow or fluff to it, but until I know what I'm going to do with this, now I have several options. I could turn this into a brooch. I have some cross-stitch brooches that I wear. I could turn it into a little ornament for the Christmas tree. I could turn it into, obviously, a simple picture, but I am wondering about making it into something for this year's December daily, which I am going to do. I've been very bad with December dailies the last few years, but that time of year is always so busy. So anyway, so that was my first little cross stitch piece down, and that gave me all the motivation to finish lots of others. So something I've been working on since early last year is this. Now this design is by Sophie O'Neill, the Stair Crazy Crafter, on Etsy. I will leave whatever links down below that I can. This is just from Hobbycraft, so there's no link to it, but if I can find one I'll try. And basically this project is, she does them every year and it's a different bookcase every year. And you have the choice to fill in your books however you want. So you can do how you read, i.e. physical, ebook, audio, the month you read, so all of your January books can be one colour, all of them another, the type of genre, the star method, which is what I went for. She gives you so many options and how you can do your books, page count, so many different options, and obviously you choose your own colors. Basically just grab the chart. Now what I should have done is got the big double one, because I read 150, I want to say 158 books last year, but I just basically brought the one bookcase that holds 100 books. She also does them with 50 books, so you know you can go on and do that. And so I just did the bookcase twice. Obviously, this has some blank space, but that's okay. And I filled in star method. The lovely glittery bronze thread is my 5 stars. I didn't have loads. And the yellow are my 4 stars. I had so many 4 stars by the end of the year, especially in the last few months, lots of 4 stars, which isn't too bad. And then most of the others are like 3 point something. Did I keep a note? I have it written down on a piece of paper what the colors represent, but I wanted to turn this into a bookmark, and I didn't want to, because of the type of putting 3.74 on a color or 1.25, which I didn't have any of those, was just going to be too fiddly. So I have literally backed this with some interface fabric, webbing, and then stitched them together. You can't see the machine stitch because I did it the same color. One looks a bit darker than the other because this has been going since last year, and this one I just started this month. I had only got to about here with my books, and then I'd given up, so I had to do all the books. I had to stitch this whole bookcase, do all those books, and I got a little ribbon, and it's a little bookmark of my books read in 2024. I'm trying to decide if I want the 2025 one, and if I want to change it up to either month read or how I read it, physical, ebook, or audio, because that might be quite interesting, or even genre, but a lot of books are more than one genre. Anyway, as I said, that's the Stir Crazy Crafter, and that is my little bookmark. I've only ever stitched 2 bookmarks in my life. That is the second one. This one I did because March is the Irish Readathon that I always take part in. So you'll be seeing my review come up in the next few days of the books. And there is a Etsy shop called Wanderling Stitches that I absolutely love her stuff. It looks quite simple. It's got like a folk art feel to it in some ways. She does a lot of hares, and I love hares and rabbits. So this is the Hare and the Shamrock. It is counted cross stitch again. So you get the digital, you download the chart, and it's Irish. So I'm not overtly happy with the inside mount, so I'm going to fix that. But this is my stitched piece. It's obviously in glass, so I'm trying not to get the glass. I love this little hair so much. I love the frame I've picked. I don't know if I'm going to put it on a wall or whether, because it can stand, whether I'll stand it up. But this is the Hare and the Shamrock, guys. Last year I did her in bulk hares. She does those. You'll see something in a minute. But she also does these little ones. This literally took me 2 days. Depending how much time you have. I mean, there's very little backstitch. Yay! It's not that much change in colour. So it really was super, super quick. Even though I'd stitched all of these, and then I realised I'd made a wrong stitch, just one stitch out there, and I had to unpick all of these shamrocks, but still. I love it. It's super cute. It's a hare. It's got shamrocks on it. Love that. So I'll leave the link to that down below. Now this next one, oh my goodness, guys. This next one, I probably started about 8 years ago. It might even have been 10. So this is Wicked Stitches by Waxing Moon Designs 163. You can see it's a pack of 2. This is when you used to actually get charts. Anyway, I had basically finished the first one, which is this one, but I'm missing, there should be 2 little toad buttons. They didn't come with the kit because obviously that was just the chart. So I still need to get the toad buttons for those. But the one I did, now, there is a bit of an issue with this one, but I don't mind. It's not going to bother me. So this is the one I completed. All that I had done is Wicked is as Wicked, and it got to doe. So I was missing the E and S. I'd done the cat. That's all I'd done. Now you can see the cat, this grey really stands out. And then obviously I have to use it on the hat. So I did the hat, the wand, the ES, all the little spiders with the back stitch, the pumpkin, and any other back stitch that needed doing. Now the problem is the Waxing Moon Designs, they tend to use gentle art threads, but I use DMCs. So it did give an alternative, but I'm thinking that the thread for this one, which was soot, the gentle art thread is called soot, but the DMC alternative is 414. And I just think it was the wrong alternative. I think it needed a darker grey. Now, I don't mind. I quite like the grey with a swoosh of black. This is only going to go up at Halloween. I still need to wash this. There's still some creases in it. But it's only going to go up at spooky season. I'm probably going to put it in a frame or on a piece of board. It doesn't bother me, but I'm super excited, guys, that I've actually, after 8 to 10 years, finished it. So this, along with the other one, once I get the frog buttons that I have ordered, will be finished and ready to be done for spooky season, put up around the house. And then the last piece I did, so what's that? A bookmark, a mini one, the hare, which wasn't a work in progress. That was a brand new chart. So the cat was a work in progress. The bookmark was a work in progress. The Wicked is as Wicked done was a work in progress. One of my oldest. And the hare was a brand new stitch. And then the final work in progress that I have been working on since last year. You would have seen me talk about this last year when I was talking about my plans for the year. But I only got halfway through Frankie. So, well, the monster is We're Made for Each Other, the Witchystitcher on Etsy. And it is a Monster and Bride. If you don't know, I am a massive Frankenstein fan. And as my partner and I had our civil partnership the other year, I wanted to stitch this as almost our sampler. I have had an idea though. I'm going to go on and put a date on here. So let me get this. It is framed and I'm trying to get it so that the glass doesn't completely pick up everything. Can you see it? Okay, let's get it. Try and get it like, oh my gosh. Oh, let's do it this way, shall we? Shall we do it this way? I don't know. Anyway, let me move. I've got something on my table. And then if I move this up, you'll be able to see it. You see me. Okay, so we have the Monster and the Bride. And all I'd done was half of the green on Frankie. And I'd done the whole green outline. There are a few images of me stitching this also on my Instagram. But over the course of a week and a half of me coming to the end of my illness, I just absolutely focused on getting this done. There is no back stitch in this, and yet just with shading and colouring you get so much definition. Love it. I'm thinking of putting the date of our civil partnership down the bottom. Love it. This is going to be going up in our little area where we've got lots of pictures of our civil partnership and a few other bits and bobs. Trying to get it so you don't get some of the reflection. Love this, guys. Absolutely love this. So finished that one too. So happy. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All different, and 4 of those were works in progress. So happy with them. Again, all links will be down below. Now, my plan, my stitcher plans going forward over the next however many months. Firstly, again, Wanderling stitches. Now, I spoke about the fact that I had done an in bulk stitch from her. So she does this set where there's always 2 hares, and she does a Wheel of the Year. So chart for each of the Wheel of the Year festivals. This is the Ostara one. I did the in bulk one last year. I had hoped to do more of them throughout last year, but I just didn't pick my needle up enough. And so I want to complete all 8 of these at some point. I don't know if I'll do it this year or whether next year, because I don't want to be just stitching the hares repeatedly, although there's a couple of the small ones like the Shamrock run. I have a mushroom one that I brought last year that I need to do. That'll be done autumn. But I do need to do this. Now I know we're past Ostara, but I already had this and I was so busy finishing all my other pieces that I didn't get around to stitching this in time for Ostara. But I do want to stitch this. I've chosen the same colour Ida that I'd stitched in bulk on, and I want to make sure I've got enough of that to do all 8, because I'm thinking of possibly either getting one frame and changing it out each year, each festival, or turning this into a little fabric journal. I don't know. But anyway, again, that's Wanderling stitches. This is the Ostara one. I love it. It's got butterflies, it's got birds, it's got daffodils, it's got a little moon and sun to do with balance. Love, love, love. I think the only thing it isn't on there is actual eggs, even though it talks about it down here, which is interesting. But I love everything else. I want to stitch that. And something I've been meaning to stitch for a while. And when I say a while, I mean years. So this is the Joan Elliot Autumn Goddess. Now, I will leave the link below where I share some of my favourite cross-stitch pieces I've ever done. This is in the same style as the Father Sun, Mother Moon and the Green Goddess that I have stitched by Joan Elliot. She also does the seasonal. There's a Spring Goddess, a Summer Goddess, the Frost Goddess for winter, I think, the Autumn Goddess, and I think there's even a Rose Goddess. I love these. These are so beautiful, but they are time consuming. All this here around the edge is metallic, as well as there being metallic backstitched throughout the whole piece. And if I can get this up, you can see there are beads. There's even beads around her eyes. up here is all beadwork. This is going to take a while, but when I tell you that these Joan Elliot charts are some of my favorite pieces, that over, let's think, at least, almost 30 years of stitching. I've done a lot in those years. These are some of my favorite pieces. These are ones that I have up in my home. They're ones I treasure. They're just, yeah. And funny enough, I find beadwork quite meditative, like therapeutic. Working with metallics, not so much. But I love these. So I've been meaning to stitch her ever since I stitched the other ones. And I am so excited to do it because autumn's my favourite season. You can see like the threads and the beads. And this was from a magazine. You can get the chart easily. It is not this big. Mine tend to be smaller because I think I work on 18 HBI rather than the 14. Yeah, this is going to be beautiful. Whether I'll get it done this year, I don't know, because I want to, what I've noticed is I used to be able to just stitch a really big chart and just get that done. But what I've noticed is because of journals and other crafts and other things I'm doing and all that kind of thing, that what I like to have is a large piece on the go and maybe 1 or 2 smaller pieces. And therefore, when you finish the smaller pieces, it keeps you motivated. Whereas if you're working on a large piece of cross stitch for months on end, you can sort of run out of steam. That's what I've noticed. It never used to be the thing, but now with my stitching, it definitely is how I feel. So I'm going to have this one on the go, and then I've got a couple of other little things. I also have, I'm also looking for a certain something that I don't want to say on here just at the moment because it's a gift for someone and I don't want them knowing about it. And sometimes they watch my videos. So there's that as well. But these are the 2 I'm focusing on. I've already got all her threads and her fabric ready. I just need to get the beads together, and I've already got the threads for this one. So this I'm going to be starting. And I love to cross stitch in the late afternoon when the sun is still out, put on my audiobook and just stitch for about an hour. So that's it, guys. That's all, everything I've been working on. I'm so excited. This is the most stitching I have finished in absolute years. I always stitch more when the spring's out anyway. And my speed is almost up again. I used to be quite a quick stitcher, and then because I didn't really do it for years, my speed's like slowed down. Stitchers out there, you know what I'm talking about. But now I'm feeling really in the groove again and really excited. So yeah, these are my 2 to-do projects. Would love to know which of these projects you really like, or if you've been inspired to pick any of these up. Also, if you're a stitcher, I'd love to know what you're all working on. If you leave me like the name of whatever you're working on at the moment, then I can check that out too and see what you're working on. So yeah, can't wait to get up my We're Made for Each Other, Frankie and the Bride, the Monster and the Bride. I love it so much. So, but yeah, now I've had the idea to actually put the date on it, which means taking it back out of the frame and stitching. But anyway, that's it for now, guys. I hope those of you who asked to see my stitching enjoyed this, and even if you didn't ask to see, I still hope you enjoyed this. But yeah, I'll be back again soon for another video. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, guys, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of stitchy, crafty fun. Bye for now.